You and a coworker start investing on the same day. You earn $80,000 a year. They earn $55,000. You assume you will get to $100,000 first. Better income, better odds. 6 years later, they hit the milestone. You are sitting at $61,000. Same market, same time. They beat you by 3 years on 31% less income. The difference was not luck, not a windfall, not a better stock pick. It was one number, their savings rate. While you were investing 8% of your income, they were investing 22%. That gap in discipline completely erased your income advantage. This is the math behind the first $100,000, and most people discover it only after they have wasted years optimizing the wrong variable. Today, we are going to look at the exact timelines, how long it actually takes to reach $100,000 on your specific income, and the single lever that makes the biggest difference. My name is Joey, and on this channel, I want to teach you how to save, invest, use, and grow your money so you can have more freedom and retire earlier without depending on the government. Subscribe to the channel and like this video. Here is the uncomfortable reality about how most Americans save. The Bureau of Economic Analysis tracks the personal savings rate across the United States. The current average hovers between 3 and 5% of disposable income. On an $80,000 salary, that is roughly $200 to $330 per month going toward the future. At $250 per month invested at 7% annually, the historical inflation-adjusted average of the S&P 500, you reach $100,000 in approximately 16 years. 16 years. Now, here is what those 16 years feel like from the inside. In year 3, you have about $12,000 saved. In year 5, $22,000. In year 7, $37,000. The number is going up, but it does not feel like progress. It does not feel exponential. Each year looks almost identical to the last. This is the problem nobody warns you about. For the first several years of building toward $100,000, compounding is invisible. You are doing the work, but the math has not started pulling yet. It is all you, every month, grinding forward. Economists call it the progress paradox. When effort is sustained but results feel flat, human nature does the most predictable thing possible. It reframes the goal as unrealistic and stops. The average American who starts investing in their mid-20s dramatically reduces contributions or stops entirely before they ever reach $100,000. The cruelest part? They stop right before the inflection point, the exact moment when the math was about to start doing most of the work for them. Charlie Munger had a line he repeated his entire life. The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it. Get it behind you as fast as you possibly can. Munger understood what most people never see until it is too late. The $100,000 milestone is not about the money. It is the threshold where compound interest becomes visible, where the math starts contributing in a way you can actually feel in the numbers. Here is the full timeline. 3 income levels, 5 savings rates, all invested in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund at 7% annual return. At a 5% savings rate, the average American range. $50,000 income, 19 years to 100K. $80,000 income, 14 and a half years. $120,000 income, 11 years. At a 10% savings rate, $50,000, 12 and a half years. $80,000, 9 years. $120,000, 6 and a half years. At 15%.
At 20%, $50,000, 7 and a half years. $80,000, 5 years. $120,000, 4 years. At 25%, $50,000, 6 and a half years. $80,000, 4 and a half years. $120,000, 3 years. Look at the most important comparison in that table. The person earning $50,000 and saving 20% reaches $100,000 in 7.5 years. The person earning $80,000 and saving 10% takes 9 years. The lower income earner gets there first. Income did not win. Savings rate won. Now, here's what happens once you cross that threshold. At $100,000 invested at 7%, the market adds $7,000 to your account in year one, without you doing anything. If you are on $80,000 and contributing 10%, you are adding $8,000 from your paycheck. The market is now contributing almost as much as you are.
By year 5, after $100,000, your balance is around $230,000. The market adds $16,000 that year. Your contributions add $8,000. The math is now doing twice the work you are. Every year after that, the ratio gets more extreme. Your job gradually shifts from feeding the machine to watching it run. That is the inflection Munger was pointing at. Not the $100,000 itself, the shift in who does most of the work going forward. So why do people know this and still not get there? Because the human brain cannot perceive exponential growth. We feel each year individually. We compare this year's balance to last year's and feel the absolute dollar gain, not the trajectory. In year 4 of saving toward $100,000, your compound interest is contributing maybe $2,500 per year. Your own contributions are doing $8,000. The math is real. It is just invisible. You cannot see the curve bending upward yet. You feel like you were doing everything right and getting nowhere.
That is precisely when most people change course. They move money out of index funds into something that might move faster. They pause contributions for a big purchase. They tell themselves they will recommit later, when things settle down. The behavioral economists call this temporal discounting. The brain dramatically undervalues future payoffs compared to present alternatives. A $230,000 balance in 8 years feels less real than the car you want today. So the car wins. The reframe that actually changes behavior: stop thinking about $100,000 as a wealth target. Think of it as a momentum threshold. Every dollar you invest before $100,000 is buying leverage for every dollar you invest after it. The early years are not slow. They are load-bearing. 3 steps. Step 1. Find your actual timeline right now.
Take the amount you invest each month, what actually leaves your account for an index fund or retirement account. Divide by your gross monthly income. That is your savings rate. Find it in the matrix. If you have never looked at that number honestly, this is the most important calculation you will do today. Step 2. Find the single 5% improvement that compresses your timeline. On $80,000 a year, going from 10% to 15% savings costs you $333 per month and cuts your timeline from 9 years to 6.5 years. That is 30 months of your life you get back for $333. Find one specific recurring cost, one subscription tier, one dining habit, one automatic renewal, and redirect it permanently into the index fund. Not for a month, permanently. Every 5 percentage point increase in your savings rate compresses your $100,000 timeline by roughly 2 to 3 years. That math does not care about your income level. Step 3. Remove yourself from the monthly decision. The savings rate has to stop being something you choose every month. Set an automatic transfer that fires on payday. Before the money reaches your checking account, the designated amount moves into your index fund. When you get a raise, redirect half of the increase the same day, before lifestyle expansion absorbs it. The $100,000 is not a mystery. It is math. And the math has already told you exactly which variable controls the timeline. Move the savings rate. Everything else follows. Charlie Munger reached his first $100,000 when none of the tools you have today existed. No low-cost index funds, no automatic investment apps, no compound interest calculators. He did it on pure discipline, and he still called it the hardest stretch of his financial life. You have every tool he didn't. What you need is the clarity he already had. Savings rate first, everything else second. Subscribe to the channel. Every week I break down the real math behind money. Numbers that tell you exactly where you stand and what it takes to change it. Next video, the automated investing system that locks your savings rate in permanently,
so the math runs without you. I will see you there.